In the beginning of the first video of this lecture, I have told you that information is one of the most valuable things. Although during that time I did not give much explanation why it's actually very valuable. In order to understand the value properly, we need to understand some of the uses of information. Now, information has various awesome use in many different domains. In this video, I'm going to discuss only a few of them. One of the major and the most intuitive uses of information is in market analysis. Let's say you are trying to do some business and you want to sell a product. Most of the time, when we try to sell a product, we need to do some marketing for it. And in most cases, our budget or other resources are limited in case of this marketing. Now, because of the resource being limited, the amount of marketing we can do is limited. And as a result, we need to make sure that the marketing process is as effective as possible. We need to make sure that we can reach the maximum amount of people, the maximum amount of audience with what we have, and we also need to make sure that we are reaching the correct people with our product. There's more actually. We sometimes also need to make sure that the product is actually sellable. For example, that there are some demand for it among our target audience or in the target region. Let's say in a specific region you want to sell some dairy products. However, before selling the product, you want to make sure that selling dairy product it's actually feasible in that area. You don't want to sell dairy product in a region where there's no demand for it, right? Now, in order to understand whether selling dairy product is a good idea, you need some information. You need to collect information that actually enables you to predict how many people might buy your dairy product. Now, there are various ways with which you can collect this information. One straightforward way would be just to do a survey that asks people how much they would like these types of products in their region. This is one kind of legit way to collect information and judge how much demand your product has. But you can only do this kind of surveys when the scope of your business is very small. When the scope is big, for example, when you want to sell your dairy product in an entire country, manually collecting information like this is often not feasible because collecting information like this often comes with its own resources spendings. And in those cases, you may want to collect data that are not directly related to your purpose, but indirectly lets you to judge the market value of your product. For example, you can always search in existing information resources. You may find out the general food habit of people in that area, and that might give you some idea whether they like dairy food or not. So this is how information can be handy in market analysis. You can figure out your target audience, figure out the product you might be able to sell in the region. You can also get feedback from your customer through information and figure out the necessary measures to improve your business. You have also probably seen these examples in your daily life too. A lot of us have used YouTube before. Now, YouTube has advertisements and it is one of its prime earning factors. Now, in case of these advertisements, you will often see that YouTube is showing advertisement on the content that you are interested in. So, if you watch mostly game related videos on YouTube, then it will mostly show you video game related advertisement. On the other hand, if you watch a lot of videos on, let's say, fashion and clothing, then YouTube will show you advertisement based on that. If you watch a lot of cooking videos, chances are very high that YouTube will mostly show you advertisements on cooking ingredients. Here, YouTube actually gathered information on your preference based on the type of videos you watch and then shows you the advertisement of only those products that you might be interested in. YouTube actually calculates the products that you are interested in by seeing your video watching habit. This is not only a case of YouTube only. In fact, any other website that shows you advertisements follow this trick, and this is actually a very general practice. The second uses of information is in political opinion formation. A prime example of this is various election campaigns. In election campaigns, we often see various political groups showing various statistics in order to justify why general people should vote them. On the other side, they often show negative statistics related to their opposing political teams so that general people don't vote them. The statistics can be of anything, such as the number of crimes that happened during their previous political reign, the amount of economic growth that happened in terms of GDP at that time, or the amount of structures that were developed for the welfare of people, and so on. All these statistics are information, and those are used to form a specific political opinion among those people. During an election campaign, all the political teams try to swing their opinion, people's opinion to their side. The general election of democratic country themselves are another example of information collection. The information comes as the number of votes for each political team, and the political team with the greatest amount of votes gets selected. Obviously, real elections are a little more complicated than that, but I'm just giving a simplified example here. Different research works also have various uses of information. Healthcare research would not have been possible without collecting information. In the recent times, you have heard that scientists are doing everything they can in order to find a vaccine of coronavirus during the time I'm recording this. Now, in this vaccine finding research, they are performing clinical trials. Now, the question is, what are these trials actually? In these trials, they are preparing a preliminary version of the vaccine and experimenting it on various test subjects. These subjects can be human or any other entities such as guinea pigs, rats, or rabbits. The effect of vaccine on these living entities are being observed and changes are being performed on the vaccine based on that. Notice the words experiment and observe being used here. We discussed before that both experiment and observation are ways of collecting information. And in this healthcare research, these ways of collecting information is being used. Then, information collection also plays a vital role in share market analysis. By collecting appropriate information, you may sometimes be able to predict whether the market will go up or down on the next day. Now, these predictions are not always correct, but sometimes they are often better than randomly guessing. Another critical research area that records information is computer vision. You guys may have questions on what computer vision actually is. In case you used Facebook, let's say you have uploaded a group picture with multiple people in it and tagged those people. Facebook actually recognizes the face and shows you the name of the person. When you hover over your mouse cursor on the uh, face of a person, the Facebook will actually recognize it and show you the name. If you haven't seen it already, you should try it someday. Here, Facebook is trying to recognize people's face, and this is a task of computer vision. Computer vision allows different computers or machines to identify human faces or many other types of objects and enables us to do various tasks with them. These computer vision techniques usually require a vast amount of information, and for today's lecture, I'm just going to leave it here. In fact, in the later part of the course, we will discuss about this even more. And information is also used in different wars and conflicts. In the very first lecture, we discussed how Germans sent and received encrypted information during the Second World War and how the description of Turing reduced the length of the World War by almost 2 years. As we can see here, information can decide the fate of a warfare and alter the course of a war significantly. And during any war, information can also be used to raise public awareness. So keep that in mind.